beautiful Aquarians. This is Debs, and it is that time again. This is your reading for mid-July 2026. I hope you're well. Now, Aqua, very interesting vision that came through. The minute I sat down, I saw a child playing jack straws. I don't know whether or not you know what that is. It's a kiddie game. Basically, I think there is a mound of twigs that make up a structure. And what you have to do is remove each twig from underneath without the whole thing collapsing. And the winner is the person who manages to obtain as many twigs as possible without the whole structure disintegrating, right? And I thought about this after meditation, and I realized that the message coming through was you trying to figure out, can you remove something from the foundation without everything collapsing in front of you? This could be you, Aquarius, thinking, can I take out all of the equity of a property so I don't actually have to sell it? You could be Aquarius wanting to remove something from a contract. You may be wanting to change a clause without having to rip up the contract. You are trying to basically keep something whole, keep something together, whilst taking out a little bit from underneath or changing something slightly to benefit you. Okay, guys? Let's find out what this is. So the deck that I'm using is a divination deck. If you'd like a reading, my website's down below. All the decks are listed and the link is there to join the channel, okay? And I'm still offering 50% off all my readings, okay? So Archangel Michael, what do we have for my lovely Aquarians, please? This is mid-January 2026. You're looking at this in depth at this point of time, Aqua. It may even be you wondering whether or not you can remove some form of obligation without completely ending something. Can I pass this to somebody else, or can this be legally removed whilst keeping something intact? Okay. Gosh, there's so much that's coming through, but it's all a bit of a jumble. So let's just get into this, guys. The moon. Okay. Cancerian energy. Aquarius, you may be wanting to do this on the quiet. It could be simply you want to keep it private, okay? Or you may be sat in fear about trying to do this. Maybe you're not sure, Aquarius, this is going to work. Crossing that is justice. Okay. So you are wanting to make quiet, private changes to a contract. So Aquarius, you can get yourself into a greater form of balance. Libra energy for some. In the past, Aqua, the King of Swords. So Aquarius, this could be you. You could be a masculine. You might have sought some kind of legal advice to try and change your situation so that you can move into a place of balance. After that time, Aquarius, you realized you had to get creative. You realized, Aquarius, you had to start thinking outside the box. In order for you to do this, in order for this to be successful so that you could manifest what you really wanted. Virgo, Scorpio, Gemini energy. In your thoughts now, guys, is, okay, strength. Aquarius, you haven't done this yet. You're holding back from doing this. You're sat in a bit of fear. Is this really going to work? But it's definitely on your mind. I could do this. You could be thinking for some of you about a Leo, or you could have Leo in your chart. You may also be thinking about someone who is dealing with health issues. Or what you may be thinking about is, I've got to go in with a lot of confidence. Even though Aquarius, you may be feeling very nervous. I've got to be very confident about this. In the immediate future, guys, we have the Two of Wands. So you are standing at crossroads. You're thinking about taking this step, but you're very worried, Aquarius, that if you get it wrong, everything could just crumble. You're very worried. In your fears, you may be fearing, Aquarius, that 2 or 3 people around you aren't going to like this. 2 or 3 people around you will see you doing this because you wanted to sit in some form of overindulgence. We've got 3 people here celebrating, flags are flying, but this could relate to some kind of third-party situation. We could even be looking at something like Aquarius, in the nicest sense, guys, no judgment. You having to go through a divorce because your partner's been cheating. You know, Aquarius, that your partner's probably going to be given a property as part of the settlement. And you're wondering, is there a way of taking out as much equity as I possibly can from the property and make it legally mine before I have to give the property to my partner? Is there a legal way I can do that? So yes, she gets their house, but Aquarius, if you be making all the mortgage payments and the house is shot up in value or the flat's increased in value, you're wondering, is there any way that I would be able to take out the equity legally before I actually sign over the house to my partner as part of a divorce settlement? You're thinking about it. Could be something like that. If, Aquarius, this has something to do with a contract, you may be wondering whether or not you would be able to get out of some kind of obligation because of a health issue, right? Would my employer allow me to work from home rather than traveling into the office every day because I have a health issue? Could I still keep my job whilst changing or asking somebody legally whether or not it's possible to alter an employment contract? In the environment, Aqua, is somebody who's looking at moving into a new cycle. They are looking at a fortunate turn of events. They are basically keeping their fingers crossed that everything goes as planned, possibly in their favour. In your hopes, guys, is Judgment. Right, okay. You may be hoping, Aquarius, that this is the right decision, this is the right judgment call for you. Or you may be hoping, Aquarius, that somebody isn't going to point their finger and call Judgment Day on you. Aquarius, you tried to do this quietly under wraps. That wasn't actually legally or morally right. We want you to pay for that, right? Could be something like that. You might be nervous. And the outcome, guys, is, okay, the 10 of Wands. All right, Aqua, this may not work. It may not work. Or you could be realizing this could work. Legally, you could do this, but it's going to take a lot of time. It's going to be quite expensive to do this. Maybe you'd have to pay for a lawyer per hour. You may be realizing it's possible, but it's not going to be easy. Clarification for you guys. The 5 of Wands. Internal conflict. Could I do this whilst keeping on the right side of the law, right? Or could I do this without conflict and chaos from other people? 7 of Wands. Yeah, you don't want there to be drama. You don't want this to cause any problems, Aquarius. But you're ready to stand up for yourself because you've been thinking about this for quite a long time. Now, whomever Aquarius I feel is looking forward to a new cycle, this is a fortunate turn of events. So this person basically feels as if their ships are coming in. They're sitting in the energy of the Queen of Swords. So we have a King and Queen of Swords. This could indeed be a very cold marriage. This could indeed be two people who are preparing for divorce. Both people are sitting in a strategic energy. This Queen of Swords is hoping for possibly a very large payout. Aquarius, I get a feeling that you are trying to protect as much as you possibly can, because even though you may know you have to give your Queen of Swords quite a lot of money, you may not be happy in agreeing to what she is wanting. Okay. The Four of Cups. Interesting. Aquarius, this is someone who's either sat feeling very disappointed, maybe disappointed that it's come to this, or this is someone who feels guilty because they know they were strategic. But Aqua, if that's the case, you may know that you were equally strategic in the past. Underneath the deck, we have the Two of Pentacles. You're trying to figure out, Aquarius, whether or not this is going to work. It is a risk. It is a risk. Aries energy. But if you manage to achieve this, Aquarius, there's something here about you being able to move into the Ten of Cups. Now, of course, we could say that you took a leap of faith in a family situation, or you might have stepped out to a Pentacles the Fool on your partner. She found out and called divorce. But it might be, Aquarius, that you only stepped out on your partner because she was strategic, or she stepped out on you. And you two have been at odds, trying to come to some kind of agreement which you're both going to be happy with. And it might be a challenge. So here we go, Aqua. You are sitting in fear, maybe about a legal case, or you are hiding the fact that you want a situation to be more fair for you, okay, more equal for you. You may be quietly picking apart a contract. Let's have a look at the Moon and Justice, Cancerian energy, Libra energy. Okay, and we have the Empress. Strong Libra, strong Taurian energy. Tell us about the Empress. Wow, okay. So Aquarius, you're not happy because either you believe that your Empress, your wife, had been sat in overindulgence for a very long time. Maybe she's been codependent on you for 20 odd years. You've been the main provider. And what you're thinking about is, why should I give my partner the house? Why should I give her a huge amount of settlement when she's never actually worked? Now, guys, I have to say these readings are for entertainment purposes only. Okay? But that's possibly what you're thinking about. I mean, we have the Empress and we have overindulgence. Now, Aquarius, you may also potentially be considering the fact that you want to be with an Empress, but you are held in a very cold partnership with a Queen of Swords. I feel I am connecting with a masculine here. And you are trying to figure out a way of being with this Empress without actually breaking a marital contract. Is there a way that we can part amicably and I can gain my freedom legally without going through a full divorce? There may be something to do with that. But this is something, Aquarius, that you have been carefully thinking about, considering. You're thinking about finances here. Eight of Pentacles. Yeah. You're thinking about finances here, Aquarius. because you feel stuck in some kind of toxic situation that you're trying to get out of. You're trying to get out of this toxic situation and you got your thinking cap on, okay? Yeah. How do I do this? 7 of Cups. How do I do this? So, Aqua, in the past, I feel you tried to obtain legal advice. Why did you try to obtain legal advice? Because either, Aquarius, you wanted a passionate new start, or you found out that your partner was cheating. Okay. What conclusion did you come to? You didn't come to any conclusion. You were simply stuck in your head. So it may well be that you received bad news from the lawyer. The lawyer may have said, I'm sorry, Aquarius, but you get divorced, you give your wife this amount of money, or you stay married. And you might have thought, I don't really want to. I don't really want to. Okay. Yeah. After that time, Aquarius, you might have thought about an apology. If your partner cheated on you, then this is your partner apologizing to you. Tell me about the Queen of Swords. I'm just curious because I don't know whether or not she did anything wrong. Ooh, okay. Yeah, the Queen of Swords sabotaged the relationship. All right, Aquarius, so the Queen of Swords sabotaged the relationship. So how were you feeling in the past? She might have apologized to you, okay, for bringing in the Tower. She might have had a fling with a Scorpio or an Aries, or she might have been aware that you found out about an infidelity, Aquarius. You sought legal advice to get out of your marriage, but realized that you'd lose too much money. She then apologized and you two patched things up, but I don't think it was the same as it was before. With the energy of the Magician, Aquarius, you, after that time, thought, okay, I've got to be savvy about this. Yeah, you might have been dealing with a Gemini female, or what you thought was, well, since my partner cheated, then I don't see any reason why I shouldn't manifest a lover myself. So, Aquarius, you might have tried to find someone yourself, thinking, hell, you know, if my wife's cheated on me and I've forgiven her, I don't see why I shouldn't have my own little fling. So you possibly did, Aquarius, whilst hanging on to your marriage. So this was a very awkward, difficult situation. Both of you were very cold towards each other. Your wife cheated. It was a Tower moment for you. You sought legal advice. You realised you'd lose too much money. And so you had your own little fling whilst hanging on to the finances. And as far as you were concerned, Aquarius, you thought, well, why the hell not? Okay, because she cheated on me, why shouldn't I have my own little bit of fun? But Aquarius, I think this has become a very difficult situation. I think you've been trying to figure out a way out of this. You are holding back, Aqua, from taking action because basically you're sat in fear about doing this. It might be a bit risky. You don't know if it's going to work, whatever you're planning on doing. But what you're thinking about is it would enable you to move to calmer waters in your life. Now, there may even be something about you two agreeing to remain married, but finding a way of taking money out of a property so you can start a brand new life with somebody else. Particularly if this is a challenging situation with your wife who is determined to hang on to a property, you may be trying to come to some kind of agreement here. What else is on your mind, Aqua? Yeah. What you're thinking about is you don't really want to divorce because it may well be that your partner legally is entitled to a lot of money. And if she cheated on you in the past, and particularly if she's been sat in the Empress energy and the Nine of Cups, codependent maybe, you may be feeling cross about that. Why should I give my wife, who's cheated on me and been codependent on me for 20 odd years, why should I give her most of my money? You know? Or you may simply be thinking, how can we sort out the situation financially so I am free of this connection? You're thinking about the Ten of Pentacles. Yeah, absolutely. Six of Pentacles, 10 of Pentacles. What is your viewpoint, guys? Let's have a look. Okay, the Hangman. You feel, Aquarius, that you've been sacrificing for long enough. You feel, Aquarius, you have been overly generous. You've done as much as you possibly can. You've been incredibly understanding, very compassionate, but you might simply be understanding that your Queen of Swords is sat in a place of fear. Because if she hasn't had to work, the very last thing she's going to want to have to do is go out there and try to find a job. It is terrifying if you've been in that situation. It is terrifying. I've never been in that situation. I've always worked ever since I was about 15, 16. But I have had friends of mine who were codependent that have gone through divorce, and the one thing they got scared about was, oh my God, I haven't worked. I don't have many qualifications. I don't know what to do because I have to get a job. And it's terrifying. For the rest of us who've always worked, it is part of the course. But Aquarius, I think you may be dealing with a Queen of Swords who is sat in fear. And that's why she's determined to get as much out of this as possible. If you are talking about releasing a partnership, you know, letting each other go. Four of Swords. You're thinking about what to do here. So guys, in the immediate future, you are standing at crossroads. I think, Aqua, you are really wanting out of this connection. You are dealing with an Empress who cheated on you. You're dealing with an Empress who sat in overindulgence, and you are quite frankly fed up. In the immediate future, we have the Two of Wands, and with the energy of the Wheel of Fortune, your Queen of Swords is hoping for a fortunate turn of events, which might entail her being given a very large settlement in order for her to move into a new cycle. Aquarius, you are standing at crossroads because you are not wanting to do what she is asking you to do, which is basically go through a full divorce and give her a large amount of money. You don't want to do that. So Archangel Michael, when do we have the Two of Wands and the Wheel of Fortune for Aquarius? Thank you, Michael. September. Okay, guys, you're going to have to wait. 4th of September, 12th of September, 28th of September. I'm hearing 5th of October, 21st of November. How weird. I'm seeing January, February, March, April all sort of move in block capitals away from me in the distance, and they're getting smaller and smaller and smaller. Aquarius, this may take a few months, but it's going to start in September. Let's have a look, Aquarius, at what you are trying to achieve here. What are you trying to achieve? Okay. Aquarius, you may be trying to adhere to a legal contract whilst finding a way to gain your freedom and keep as much money as possible. Taurian energy. Two of Swords. Okay. You are not talking to your Queen of Swords. You two aren't in communication, so you may simply be living in the same house but not talking to each other. She might have moved into the spare room or something. Or Aquarius, it could well be that with the Two of Swords, you two live separately already, but you haven't moved into legal separation because you're still trying to decide what you want to do. How are you feeling, Aqua? You're feeling angry, guys. You're feeling angry about this, is what I'm getting. You're cross. You feel as if you've been put in a really difficult situation. And you have emotionally detached. You have emotionally left the building, okay? All right. What are you hoping for, Aqua? You are wanting to end this, end the cycle. Okay. You are wanting to end the cycle, Aquarius. You are wanting out of this so you can transform your life. Now, for some of you, you may be wanting to end a situation with a Scorpio, or you may want to be with a Scorpio. Anything else? Seven of Pentacles. Aquarius, you may be looking at past mistakes. All that money I poured into the house, all that money I gave my wife, all those presents I bought her. I mean, what you're thinking about is, I should have done things differently in the past. You're looking at financial mistakes you made in the past. Yeah. Yeah. And Aquarius, you might have had sharp words with your Empress, Queen of Swords, to say, I have given you so much over the years. I mean, this could represent Seven of Pentacles. We got the Ten of Pentacles. This could be you saying to your Empress, actually, you've had 70% already of my money. You're giving her a difficult message of truth about finances here. You're not happy, Aquarius. Tell us about this Queen of Swords Empress. Okay. Yeah. She's been cheating on you. Knight of Wands. Okay. Aquarius. Tell us more about the Knight of Wands. She's been cheating on you with the King of Cups. Sorry, guys, it's a bit blunt. She's been cheating on you with a King of Cups, a Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio masculine. And she is hoping for a large settlement, a large payout. And Aquarius, you're angry about that. What is she worried about here? Well, I think she's worried about money. Yeah, she's worried, Aquarius, that if you two divorce, eventually she's going to end up in the Five of Pentacles. What else is she thinking about? The Seven of Swords. She wasn't honest with you. She sat in fear, Aquarius, because she may feel that because she cheated on you, you're not going to play fair with her. You're sitting in a very angry, upset energy, and you possibly are. I think she's very, very stressed about this. She's, she's panicking behind the scenes. Yeah. She's having sleepless nights, Aquarius, because she feels as if you're the one that can say yes or no in terms of money, in terms of settlement. Basically, the ball is in your court. The reins are in your hands, and you are furious with her, and you are upset with her, and she's worried. What is she most worried about? I mean, I know she's worried about the Five of Pentacles. Yeah. She's worried, Aquarius, that you are going to hold back giving her any financial support. Any more financial support is what I'm hearing. So, Aquarius, are you trying to legally get out of your obligations relating to giving this wife of yours money so you can be free to move forward, maybe with somebody else, and be happy? If that is the case, she is terrified, because what she's recognizing is you're not going to agree to a divorce. And you may be hanging over her head the fact that she cheated and was codependent on you for many years. So if she tries to force you to sign divorce papers, you may say no and have a very good reason for saying no. I mean, guys, these days it's very complicated. She may feel as if you have to give her a divorce. But Aquarius, you're trying to find a way of hanging on to your money whilst releasing any obligation in supporting her, which may be you trying to move into some kind of legal separation without having to give her any more money every month, something like that, with the view that if she sits in the property, that's enough. And even then, Aquarius, if you actually legally own the property, it's under your name, you may be figuring out on top of that whether or not you can take equity out of the property that might have increased over the last 10, 20 years and have that as your nest egg, maybe to live on, to start afresh with somebody else with. So you may be planning on an ongoing legal separation situation. Aquarius, she may be wanting a divorce because she may be thinking to herself, it's the only way I'm going to obtain quite a lot of money and possibly be signed over the house. So Aquarius, this is very challenging. Tell us about the King of Cups. Very curious about the King of Cups. Okay. Aquarius, you're not going to like this, but this King of Cups is in love with your Queen of Swords Empress. This King of Cups is in love with your Queen of Swords Empress. Tell us more about your Queen of Swords. Yeah. Aquarius, she is tempering her anger. I think this is guilt. I think this is her realizing that she got herself into a sticky situation by not being honest, by cheating on you. She is tempering, flying off the handle, because what she's realizing is, Aquarius, you hold all the cards, to be honest. Yeah. Yeah, she is holding back from being angry with you, Aquarius. This is your energy, because it's not going to help her get what she wants. So this is a really difficult situation. What are you both thinking about? What is the energy between you two? Yeah. This is about a home. This is about a property. I'm seeing Jack Straws here. Aquarius, you are trying to get something from the property, from underneath the property, the equity from the property, whilst keeping the property whole without selling it. And she wants the property. So this is all about a house, guys. There may be a lot of money wrapped up in a house. So, Aquarius, you are, I think, fearing that she's going to try and seek advice from other people, or you're fearing, Aquarius, she's going to end up celebrating. I've got to be honest. You may be fearful, Aquarius, that legally she's going to end up celebrating with girlfriends. Oh, yeah, you know what? I cheated on Aquarius. I was codependent for 20 years, and now I'm celebrating because I've managed to get hold of their house. You're worried, Aquarius, because you don't think she deserves it. And again, guys, this is a very awkward situation, and it could be totally switched, okay? Aquarius, you are realizing you have to make a serious judgment call here. And the final card is the Ten of Wands. You are burdened. You are desperately wanting your happiness. But this is you feeling you should not have to give any more to your partner. You may be feeling very angry about that. Let's have a look at the Ten of Wands. Yeah. Yeah, you're burdened, Aquarius, because what you're thinking about is you might have to end up giving your partner a lot of money, and you simply don't think she deserves it. You simply don't think it's fair. You don't think it's right. What else are you considering here, guys? You just want to be happy, Aquarius. Oh, Aqua, you just want to be happy. Tell us about the Queen of Swords. But your Queen of Swords wants the money. She's hanging on to you for money. Or you are not willing to give her a divorce because you may realize that despite what she did, she's legally entitled to a lot. And you may feel angry about that. You know, why should she? She cheated on me. You know, she hadn't had to work for the last God knows how long is what I'm hearing. Okay. Three of Pentacles. You may both go and see a mediator. Okay. You may both go and see a mediator to try and bash this out. What are you going to realize here? Nine of Pentacles, that she is unfortunately going to end up with quite a lot of money. And what else are you thinking? Or Aquarius, you could just stay married, but, you know, this would be a very cold marriage where you two would possibly live under the same roof, but you two would live independent lives. So you wouldn't lose money. Unless, of course, your Queen of Swords is determined to divorce you. What is going to happen? What is the Queen of Swords going to do? The Queen of Swords may be speaking to a Virgo, okay, King of Pentacles, the Hermit. Or she could be doing some soul-searching, Aquarius, about the fact that you have been a very supportive partner. She might have felt left out in the cold, Aquarius. I don't know whether or not you were very into your career, and so that's why she cheated. I mean, no excuse, but, you know. She's doing some soul-searching about the fact that you've been financially supporting her, I feel, over the last few years. I mean, the Empress and the Nine of Cups is somebody sat in a place of ultimate stability, but also sitting in overindulgence. So that, for me, is a codependent partner. Some people may read that differently. Aquarius, she's either thinking about a Virgo masculine, or she is contemplating the fact that despite issues within the marriage, within the partnership, you have been supportive financially. Basically, she's thinking to herself, ultimately, Aquarius has been a pretty good husband, you know. What are you two going to agree on here, or not? I think, Aquarius, you're both going to come to understand that you both wanted to win. There was a certain amount of ego here. I don't know whether or not your partner did feel left out in the cold, and so she cheated on you because she felt, well, to hell with it. Aquarius doesn't give me any of his time. He's permanently working. So why the hell shouldn't I cheat? It could be, Aquarius, you felt that because you were supporting her and she wasn't working, the resentment began to build beneath the surface and you wanted to win. You're both going to agree that you both were sitting in a bit of ego. So this could be you admitting the truth, both of you, and it's turned into a heartbreaking situation. I mean, this whole thing has just turned into a heartbreaking situation. What are you going to agree on? The Page of Pentacles. You both may actually apologize to each other, or you may start talking about the fact that you have a child. Your person may say to you, you know, Aquarius, I've been very angry with you. I know you felt resentful, but in all of this, we haven't thought about our child. I mean, could be. So, Archangel Michael, do we have a conclusion here or not? Ace of Cups. I've got to be honest, guys. I think you two are going to do whatever you can to make yourselves happy whilst staying legally in the situation. You're going to stop talking about settlement, stop talking about leaving, stop talking about money, stop talking about who was right and who was wrong. You are going to apologize to each other, admit that this is simply a heartbreaking situation, that partly both of you wanted to win, and you two are going to try and make yourselves happy individually while staying legally married. So Aquarius, you may head off and find love with somebody else while staying legally married. And any further conversations, Aquarius, may well be taken off the table. Okay? Wow, guys. Whew, an intense reading, but let's see what the universe has to say. Here we go, Aqua. This is the Enchanted Forest. Archangel Michael, what do we have, please, for my lovely Aquarians from the Enchanted Forest? A message from the universe for Aqua. Thank you, Michael. Spirit of Life. Okay. Aquarius, Remember, you are never alone. Remember, you're never alone, Aquarius. The spirit of life is with you. The world takes care of you. Allow yourself to rest in this realization and feel the lightness in you. Aquarius, release the burden. Release the burden. I think you tried to gain some kind of freedom whilst hanging on to your money. What you're recognizing is you may not be able to achieve that. So I think, at least for now, you two are going to remain in the same situation, but try to live separate lives and find some happiness individually. And I think, Aquarius, the divine is saying, just stop thinking about this. Try to be happy, try to live your life, find some happiness for yourself, Aquarius, and just take each day as it comes. All right, guys, where are we going to put this? Put it there. Spirit of life. Allow yourself to rest in the realization that you're never alone. The world takes care of you, and feel the lightness within you. Okay? All right. Aquarius, I'm leaving it there. Do let me know if this resonates. I'd be very interested to find out. Take care of you guys. And of course, I will be back before you know it with your next set of readings. See you soon. Bye, Aqua.